Hello and welcome to Rolls-Royce and Bentley here in Crewe. For nearly 100 years, Rolls-Royce has been synonymous with the ultimate in luxury cars. Since 1904, when Sir Henry Royce's first car left the factory, the traditions of excellence and hand-built quality have been strictly adhered to. Now, Rolls-Royce build the best cars in the world, and we're lucky enough to be here today to see just how they do it. So come on, let's go. Well, I'm joined here by Richard Charlesworth. Richard, whereabouts are we here?
Well, you're in the factory at Crewe, as you know, and this particular room we're in here is what we call our Lineage Centre, where we seek to display the history of Rolls-Royce and Bentley throughout the 95 years or so we've been going, but also an indication of where we're going in the future as well. So we talk about lineage, i.e. there's a future there, rather than just heritage, which so often can be just history. So
do a lot of people who come here to buy their cars like to have a look round here?
They do, and we like to bring people here because, of course, when you're buying a Rolls-Royce or a Bentley, you're not just buying a motor car, you're buying into our history as well. Because everything that we do with the two marques relies very much upon our historical connection, and we like to bring people here to help them become part of it, because then they can all be dinner party bores, you see, and talk about Rolls-Royce and Bentley over the dinner
They know
table.
the ins and outs of their car.
Well, you need to. If you're going to buy one of our motor cars, it's more than just a car, so you need to have a feeling for it.
So what's the future of Rolls-Royce looking like?
It's looking good. I mean, as you know, last year we were bought by Volkswagen, which means that we have an automotive company who owns us, who understands our business, and who has deep pockets to help us invest for the future. So here at Crewe, things are looking good. As you know, in a few years' time, potentially Rolls-Royce will move away. But in the longer term, we've got a lot of things to do with Bentley. We're going to see our production go from around 2,000 cars a year to more than 9,000. So the most important thing is that Crewe is safe and employment is safe.
So in 1905, how much would I have paid for this car?
Oh, now there's a question. I think it was about £900 and odd, around about £1,000, which of
Steal.
course was a lot of money then.
Yeah,
actually,
actually,
a little bit more now, you'd be pleased to know.
£900 is a lot of money now. Never mind then.
That's right. Insured for around £300,000, and because this, like one or two of our other historic cars, is irreplaceable, it's not as though it's like a modern car where if you total it, you can go and buy a new one. With this, you can't do that. So it's really just a level at which we could properly restore it if it were damaged, which hopefully it won't be. The Silver Ghost, which is probably the most valuable car in the world, and probably the best known historic Rolls-Royce, the car that actually made the name for the company, would normally be standing next to me here, but that's out and about working. The cars are driven regularly around the world, travel a lot. They probably do more air miles than most of us, but they travel around the world as ambassadors for the company, both Rolls-Royce and Bentley.
And I love, there was a quote where it said that Rolls-Royce never break down, they just fail to proceed.
Well, very rare occurrence, of course, but you're absolutely right, yes. We never admit to never failing to proceed at all. But
so have you got any other cars or other designs in mind for the future?
Well, I think while you're here in the Lineage area, we've got to show you some other motor cars. But I guess if this is where our history started, particularly for Rolls-Royce, where the future could lie, especially for Bentley, which longer term is going to be the future for Crewe, well then we have a concept vehicle just a few yards away that we showed at Geneva called the Uno d'Air, which is probably a very dramatic, or the most dramatic glimpse you could have into the future. So
Richard, is this the future of Rolls-Royce?
Well, probably not exactly this. The Bentley Uno d'Air is a concept car which we showed at Geneva this year, really as part of an effort to help increase the awareness and understanding of the Bentley marque. 7 out of 10 of the cars that we make and sell are Bentleys and have been for a decade, but Bentley is less well known than Rolls-Royce, and so we want to increase the awareness. Now, although this car will probably not be built, this is an indication of the sort of things that Bentley could do, because Bentley, with its sporting heritage going back to Le Mans in the 1920s, could well go into this sort of arena, if you like, the sort of the Bentley supercar. But what was more important about this was the 16-cylinder 8-litre engine that's in the back of it, or in the middle of it, I should say, to give it its correct configuration. That most certainly, or most probably, will be part of our future in terms of new Bentley models we'll bring out in the next 5 years or so.
So you couldn't put a price on this car because it's a concept car?
It's a concept car. As I say, it's unlikely to be built, very unlikely to be built, but a clear indication of the sort of future that Bentley has, because at the end of the day, we will be Bentley only in a few years' time. So we're going to be exploring fully the breadth of the scope that the Bentley marque gives us. And this is one possible direction.
Is there only one of these cars built then?
That's it.
That's it then?
That's the only concept car, yes. And it's not a runner. The engine starts and it can move slowly, but you couldn't drive it.
It was now time for the grand tour. First up was the Mulliner Park War Division. This is where if you want something special added to your car, they'll do their utmost to accommodate you.
Mulliner Park Ward is the coach building or special side of the business, of the Rolls-Royce business, which offers the service and the opportunities for customers that want to build an expertly tailored motor car.
Right. So I can call you Q then, can I?
You certainly can.
It's sort of got that sort of James Bond feel about it. And you look the part as well, I might say, Trevor.
Thank you very much.
No, but it's got sort of like an air of secrecy in here.
It does, and I suppose it's because it's not every client that has the time or is able to walk in the front doors here and bespoke, expertly tailor their own motor cars.
What, sort of going on the James Bond theme there, do you have any sort of like, do you do special specifications for like bulletproof windows and armoured cars?
Yes, we offer the service of doing that. We can tailor-make them to different levels of armour plated, different levels of protection against.
And so what would that involve?
Basically, we'd be understanding what it is that the customer's trying to protect themselves from, and then analysing that and understanding what type of protection is best suited to that client.
So could I tell the difference between, say, this car and then one that's had like bulletproof windows and?
Generally speaking, at the lower levels, so it's up to what I would call a relatively small handgun level, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
Right.
Not as the general person.
So you haven't got any sort of secret gadgets that come out the wheels, you know, like knives that spin along?
Not quite that. We've done things similar, but not quite.
What's the sort of weirdest specification you've been asked for?
I think probably some of the weirdest ones are to some of the probably Far East countries, where we might have done things like grenade launchers and machine gun ports and that type of thing.
We need none of that over here, thank you very much.
It's more toys rather than putting them into real action.
What about the ladies? What sort of are they really particular about, what sort of things have they asked for?
I think ladies probably control a lot of the colours. Certainly colours of the exterior of the motor cars, the types of finishings on the inside of the motor car. And as we got with this particular one, probably a lot of the features in this have been tailored to an individual lady.
Right, like what you were showing me earlier, is there like a little vanity box?
That's right.
And it's got like it's got a secret compartment. Is that for all the lipstick and the makeup, and then
whatever she desires to play with.
Oh, I wish I had Posh Spice's money, and then I could do all that, couldn't I? So cute. I just wanted to say, just to finish things off, I know I've seen the car I want, the silver Rolls-Royce over there, but I've got a Rabbit Florence. Could you make me like a portable rabbit hutch in the back, all in nice oak?
I'm sure we can design something that would fit neatly between the two rear seats.
Lovely.
And we can house it in there.
Great. Me and Florence would be very happy. Thanks.
Yes.
Rolls-Royce and Bentley are for the majority hand-built cars. We took a sneaky peek at what goes on in the woodshop.
Well, in the woodshop we still use traditional methods. We still use the logger veneer, which we actually select, and we actually still joint the veneer, showing a mirror image. These 4 sheets I've got here go to make a Rolls-Royce fascia. From the stage of jointing this veneer, then it is placed onto the substrate, as you can see here, where the veneer covers all the way round and actually goes into the apertures. From this point here, then it is rebated all the way round. Then we have to apply the boxwood and the crossbanding. This is all done by hand, and this is actually Australian crossbanding, which is straight grain walnut. We place the boxwood around with masking tape to hold it into shape, and then we apply crossbanding. We do this all the way around the substrate. Then this again is stuck down, and the finished item comes out like this when it's polished, each matching with the joint still there on this and the airbag and the end panel.
Here's one we made earlier. All panels have chassis numbers which correspond to a customer's car. It takes 85 people in the woodshop all day to produce just 8 full finished wood and veneered interiors for the Rolls-Royce or Bentley in question. And believe me, when you see how much detail goes into making just one fascia, you can see that time is precious. So Nigel, this process is all completely handmade?
Yes, over many years now, the process has not changed, or it has changed very little. Basically, everything is still done by hand. We have a few new machines that actually help us to prepare the veneer, which cuts a lot of time down. But everything else, the jointing and everything like that, is still done by hand.
Rolls-Royce has a real happy family atmosphere. The employees seem as proud of their products as the people who own them. Out in the main assembly hall, I met a likeable character called Slim. Slim, I know you're the team leader. Tell me a little bit about your job.
Well, it involves the day-to-day running and the inspection of the hide, making sure we're cutting the right hides for the right car. Because every hide that we cut is individual to one particular vehicle. We don't just cut a batch of leather, it's special for that one car. It takes average of 15 hides a car.
Right.
And we sort each set of hide for that vehicle. Because that's specified by a customer when they visit the factory. They choose the colour of the leather for the seats, the colour of the carpets.
You could help me if I came in here and said I wanted pink leather interior.
If that was your favourite coloured dress, we could dye the leather to match that. We could make the leather. I could take you around the factory. I have another position as a tour guide. Take customers around the factory. We start in the body assembly, going to the wood shop. You could choose your wood. You could bring your own wood to the factory and we'll produce a car. You could bring your own material and we would put it out here. I love the place. It's nice to work with top class quality stuff.
I've noticed that. It's like a sort of family here, isn't
Very
it?
much, very much.
Everyone's really proud of their job and proud of who they work for.
Yeah, we do regard it as a family thing. You know, you're becoming part of the family, built for me by people who know me and I know. So we know the customers, we know the people, they know us. People remember your name, they remember me. Oh yes, we met you the last time, and they'll tell their friends and oh, I had this particular guide, or
so you'll get somebody that maybe maybe you sold a Rolls-Royce to somebody in New York, and they'll actually ring up and say, I want to speak to Slim.
Well, they can dial direct, and I've experienced people ringing me up personally and saying, and thanking you for your visit and saying the car's great. I've got my car now; it's fantastic. Things like that.
Come over to the ranch in New York, and we'll look after you.
I'm waiting. Yeah, I'm waiting. Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, come over to Florida and spend a week in my. Yeah. Well.
Have you got any tales that you can tell us? Any weird or wonderful stories that people have asked for? Any specifications?
I had a German customer who came with a piece of blue paper one day, said it was his favourite colour blue and could we match the leather. A lady with a sequin off her dress, favourite blue sequin. She said that, could you dye it? We match the leather. We now have sequin blue paint.
Well, here it is, my very own luxury Rolls-Royce. Now, we've shown you briefly what goes into making one of these, and I'm sure you'll agree that although they are expensive, they're worth every penny. In fact, I've just got to have one. I'm going to see the bank manager later about remortgaging the house, selling some shares and cashing in on my life insurance. Just hope a fella doesn't find out. See ya.